There are moments in life when nothing seems wrong on the surface, yet something feels deeply unsettled inside. Days pass, weeks pass, even years pass. And slowly, almost quietly, we begin to sense that we are drifting instead of moving forward. We tell ourselves we are tired. We tell ourselves we will change soon. We tell ourselves that tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow keeps arriving exactly the same. This is not a story about sudden success or dramatic transformation. It is a story about one small habit, practiced consistently, that changes the direction of a life from the inside out. Long ago, in a quiet village surrounded by open fields and winding paths, lived a young man named Ethan. Ethan was not a bad person. He was not cruel or dishonest, but he was deeply unstructured. Each night he stayed awake long after the village lights had gone dark. While others rested, he distracted himself with meaningless habits that filled the hours but emptied his spirit. When morning came, the sun rose without him. He slept through the most peaceful hours of the day, waking only when urgency replaced calm. His days lacked rhythm, his goals lacked clarity, his motivation faded quickly. Whenever his parents asked him to help with work or take responsibility, Ethan resisted. He argued, he delayed, he promised to change, yet avoided the discomfort of starting. Deep inside, he knew he was wasting time, but admitting that truth felt heavier than staying the same. "I'll do it tomorrow," he said often. But tomorrow never truly came. As the years passed, Ethan watched others move forward. Friends found jobs, learned skills, and built families. Some struggled, but they progressed. Ethan remained stuck, quietly falling behind, while telling himself his moment would arrive eventually. Over time, hope weakened. He tried to change many times. He woke early for a few mornings, then returned to old habits. Each failed attempt convinced him he lacked discipline. Slowly, disappointment turned into self-doubt, and self-doubt hardened into resignation. One evening, after another long day filled with regret, Ethan made a sudden decision. He would leave the village. Without a clear destination, he packed lightly and began walking before dawn. He didn't want advice. He didn't want comfort. He only knew he could not continue living the way he had been. After hours of walking, exhausted and hungry, Ethan found himself deep within a forest near the mountains. The air was cool and still. There were no voices, no clocks, no distractions, only silence and his own thoughts. He sat beneath a tall tree and reflected on his life. Every wasted morning, every promise broken to himself, every opportunity ignored because getting started felt too hard. That was when he noticed a small wooden hut nearby. Curious, he approached and saw an elderly monk sitting calmly outside, eyes closed, posture relaxed, breath steady. There was a peaceful presence about him that felt unfamiliar yet comforting. When the monk opened his eyes, he smiled gently. "Who are you, my friend?" he asked. "And what brings you so far from home?" Ethan spoke honestly. He shared his failures, his laziness, and his belief that he had already wasted too much time to change. The monk listened without judgment. When Ethan finished, the monk offered him food and water. "Eat first," he said softly. "A tired body cannot support a clear mind." After eating, Ethan felt calmer. The monk spoke again. "No one is born undisciplined," he said. "But discipline is built through daily habits, not sudden decisions." Ethan looked up, curious. "I've tried to change many things," he said. "Nothing lasts." The monk nodded. "Because you tried to change your life all at once," he replied. "A mountain is not moved in a single push. It is shaped slowly, day by day." He paused, then continued. "If you want to change your life, begin by changing how you wake up." Ethan frowned. "How can waking up early change everything?" The monk smiled gently. Because the way you begin your day decides who you become for the rest of it, and days, when repeated, become destiny. He explained that waking up early is not about forcing productivity. It is about discipline, clarity, and respect for time. When you wake up early, he said, you meet the day before distractions arrive. You choose intention over impulse. The monk spoke of early mornings as sacred space, a time when the world is quiet and the mind is open. In that stillness, thoughts settle, emotions balance, and awareness deepens. This is why wise people across cultures and centuries rise before the sun, he explained. Not because they were special, but because they understood the power of silence. Ethan listened carefully. The monk continued, explaining how waking early naturally reshapes the body and mind. Sleep improves, energy stabilizes, discipline strengthens. With discipline, he said, laziness fades, and when laziness fades, confidence returns. Ethan hesitated. But I've failed before, he admitted. I always go back to sleep. The monk smiled warmly. Failure is not proof of weakness. It is proof that you are learning. He offered simple guidance. Place the alarm far from the bed. Stand up immediately. Do not negotiate with the mind. If you fail, accept a small consequence, not to punish yourself, but to teach your mind accountability. Then the monk placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. Return home, he said. You do not need to change everything. Just begin with one habit. Ethan bowed deeply. As he walked back toward the village, something inside him felt different. Not excitement, not certainty, but quiet determination. The next morning, Ethan woke before sunrise. It was difficult. His body resisted. His thoughts argued. Yet he stood up anyway. And for the first time, he did not return to bed. Days passed, then weeks. Some mornings were harder than others. Some nights he failed. But slowly, waking early became familiar. Ethan began using the quiet hours to think, plan, move his body, and reflect. Something subtle but powerful happened. His focus sharpened. His confidence grew. His sense of direction returned. Waking early did not magically solve his problems, but it gave him space to face them with clarity instead of avoidance. Months turned into years. Ethan built structure into his days. Structure became discipline. Discipline became freedom. One morning, as the sun rose gently over the village, Ethan realized the truth. His life had not changed in one dramatic moment. It had changed one morning at a time. If this story resonates with you, remember this. You don't need a new life. You need a new beginning. Thank you for listening. If this story inspired you, please like the video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe for more inspirational stories and quiet life lessons. Wishing you discipline in the morning, clarity in your days, and peace in the journey ahead.